I will now simulate what it's like to watch Resident Evil The Final Chapter. Are you ready?
Scene.
And scene. The cameraman is shaking the camera all the time. Plus, it's very dark. And there are just lights out. These are muzzle flashes. It is really difficult to concentrate on everything. We just saved you $15 to $30, depending if you were going to take somebody with you, you sadistic bastard. W.S. Anderson is a hack. This film is fucking terrible, and everybody involved should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Let's start the review.
I begged you not to take me.
I am physically ill.
I have a headache now.
You have a headache. This movie will make you physically ill. That's why I'm considering a 0 out of 10. I've never given that rating to anything except for Almost Sort of the Stars, the video game, because it didn't work at release. This film doesn't work at release. I mean, it plays on the reel, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I've never been so, like, emotional. Like, you know, people talking, I actually... you know, burst out several times with profanity while I was watching the film.
Yeah.
I would have got up and walked out if I wasn't, you know, reviewing the film for you guys. This is the worst film I've seen in the longest fucking time. And I am, you know, what did you say? You looked it up. It was like 6.8 on IMDb. No, this is the end of humanity as we know it. This is the end of good taste and movie taste. If the audience accepts a movie like this and thinks it's a 6, this is garbage.
No,
I would rather watch Monster Trucks 3 times than watch this film again. At least I'm seeing what's there. There's 1 or 2 funny jokes. I'd rather watch Xander Cage. I'd rather watch Underworld. I'd rather watch Ghostbusters.
Ooh, that bad.
Yes. I would because at least there were 1 or 2 jokes that made me laugh, and I can look at the screen and just see they shit all over their franchise, but at least it made sense.
Yeah.
And they established lore and then just, you know, go with that. Here, they establish lore and ignore it and fuck it over and...
That's what the series does.
Do more than to destroy the Resident Evil franchise. We already knew that these films were garbage. We went to it so you don't have to. And I didn't think it could get any worse than this. W.S. Anderson is now on my top list of worst directors. He's a fucking hack. He doesn't deserve to be making movies. Films like this don't deserve to be made. I don't understand how they get made, and it's as if he ignored all feedback. Yeah. He ignored all the critics from all 5 previous films. He's in his bubble, and it's like filmmaking is this closed loop of people making garbage that won't take any feedback because there are so many missteps and errors and plot holes in this film, and even the action is completely fucked up. So you say, okay, there are so many plot holes, but Joe, they don't care. They know that there's so many plot holes, and they just give us action, and they fuck up the action. They fuck up the action because it's shaky cam central.
It's not even just shaky cam. It's jump cuts galore. There's like 20 cameras around every fight. And they make sure to use all 20 cameras per second.
I've never seen this.
30 FPS.
Not only that too, and they dim the lights to fucking dark.
Right, it's so fucking dark. And then put the blinders in your eyes. Every second there's a muzzle flash that covers half the screen. So your eyes, you can't see, and the lights are blinding you the whole time. It's dark. There's muzzle flashes every 5 seconds. There are the shaky cam alone, even if there weren't jump cuts, would ruin all the action. But imagine the worst shaky cam that you've seen in a film and take the worst jump cut editor you've ever seen. There were at least, I could count at least 15 jump cuts for something as simple as shooting 3 zombies. You know, and it's
There were at least 2 jump cuts for the guy slicking back his hair.
Yeah.
Like, just this.
He was doing this. And there's a scene.
And there's like 3 different cameras taking 3 different shots of him.
I couldn't believe the incompetence on the technical level. He doesn't know how to make a film. It's almost as if he tried on any director, any fucking good director could not make a film this poorly put together in terms of cinematography, in terms of action, in terms of story. They couldn't if they tried. This is the worst. Oh yeah, what happened in the last film, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's set that up.
The last film was she went to Washington D.C., the capital, with all these fucking monsters.
The
and all
coolest
this
fucking
lore.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all gated. It's like, don't worry, we got a wall.
The Red Queen is determined to destroy all life on Earth. This is the last that remain of us, of the human race. It seems we're bonded against a common foe. This is why we needed you back, the ultimate weapon. This is humanity's last stand, the beginning of the end.
This is gonna be our last stand.
And it's like this massive war.
And then this one, I was like, all right, cool. We might see some of that action.
Yeah. No.
No, nothing.
No.
Nothing.
It starts off with everything destroyed. Everything's in this brown monotone, and we miss the coolest fucking part of the film. And not only that, but what's worse, we don't see Ada Wong's character. We don't see Leon Kennedy. We don't see who else was up there. There was Jill Valentine was up there as well. And this was supposed to be the team up of Wesker and Alice. Wesker turned into a good guy. He turned off her powers in one film, turned them back on in the next film, and so he's like, we need you now. You're humanity's last hope. And they do this last stand, and you think that it's gonna open with this badass action scene. And that's one thing that I can say for Afterlife or Retribution or one of those goddamn films where everything goes backwards in slow motion. That was actually a cool action scene. And I was hoping for an opening action scene like that with how they left off in the previous film. None of that. They never even mention those characters. They don't say those characters are dead. They don't say those characters even existed. So all the stuff that they've set up over 5 films is hand-waved away again at the beginning of this. The story is that the humanity is wiped out. There's less than, the Red Queen contacts her and says there's less than 4,000 people on Earth. And in 48 hours, those 4,000 people are going to die. Because somehow she's quantified exactly when the last strongholds will die via the zombie rush, even though zombies have been on Earth for God knows how many years attacking everybody.
10.
But she's quantified it to exactly 48 hours, which tries to give the film a sense of false urgency. That's why they put that in there, the 48-hour generic, unnecessary time limit.
I hate that.
And so she has to go back to where it all started in the Hive from the first film, and where the Red Queen's at, and she has to just out of nowhere, the Red Queen tells her, hey, there is an antivirus, a green airborne antivirus that will clear up everything. Not only will it will destroy all the zombies, but apparently it's going to refill all the water on Earth. It's going to make trees grow, which they never say any of that, but they act like it's going to, everything's returning to normal.
Point. They say it will destroy anything infected with the T virus, right?
And so, so she, remember that for later.
I'll leave that there.
So that's it. And so she has to go, and the Dr. Isaac's character is in the film, and they do some exposition on the history. They hand-wave so many things that they've done in the previous films. Just, they expect you to remember things and forget things. Like Phalis, one of my buddies had said, they expect you to remember things and forget things from the previous films. So, you know, forget that she lost her powers. Forget that there was a doctor character that created the virus because his daughter couldn't walk. No, they completely change that and say, no, it's really because her daughter is aging quickly and we need to cure her, and that's why the T-virus was recreated, and all those other characters fucking forget about him. It's completely new, it's completely different. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's a reboot that's a sequel that reboots the whole thing, but is a sequel and uses all the history but fucks up all the history.
They're just like, fuck it, this is the last one, just finish it.
Yes,
just fucking finish
that's what it's like. I don't want to go. I hate this film so much, and now I hate this director. And there's no like characters. So in the previous films, we had these characters that were slightly developed. Yes, they weren't the Resident Evil characters. They were just a name only, right? Yeah. But even then, you could like follow these characters along, and they have certain traits, and they were, you know, one-dimensional. But in this film, all of those one-dimensional named characters are gone. It is, the only one that returns is Claire. But everybody else that they bring up are less than one-dimensional. They're less than what we've got in the previous 5 films. No, we don't. They are half-dimensional characters. Yeah, they're half-dimensional characters. So because these films have had such weak characters the whole time, what do they do for the ending? It's even weaker. So the writing is bad, the acting is bad, the characters are bad, the story is bad because it's nonsensical and it completely destroys all the lore that they set up before. The cinematography makes you sick to your stomach. The action scenes are garbage because you can't see a thing. There were other people in the audience that could not see shit. I have no fucking clue how this film got made or how nobody on the crew who were editing these things, or the editor. Fuck you, dude. Seriously, you have no right to have a job. And I never personally attack people, but that guy is incompetent. And so is the director. This is the worst I've ever seen it.
Like, I couldn't even tell you what half of the monsters look like.
Yeah.
Because they never focused long enough on a monster
to see what they are. Fucking looked like. The CGI was so shitty. Everybody had this blurry, feel around their edges, and that's because they're trying to hide a green screen. My green screen is better than that shit. It is the worst I've ever seen. What? I can't continue. It is jump scare, and okay, so we have all that shit. We've basically listed all the negatives, but this is also jump scare the movie. Do you hate jump scares? There's a jump scare every 5 minutes in this film.
And they're not even clever. Like, you see them coming every time because the music stops. It's like every time the music stops, it's shit, here comes another one.
Loud noises, jump scare, and that's how they, supposedly we want to return to the original, we want to return to the horror, and we want to return to where it all started. No horror. They failed horribly. They failed horribly on making it a horror. It is a horror show in the worst possible way. And when they go, so they're in the original base, the hive. So you know what they're going to do. Joe, the room.
Fucking goddamn lasers.
The goddamn laser room shows up again.
They bring back the lasers, right? And so she's all flipping around later because the bad guy traps her in the room. And he's all like, hey, let's see if you can get through all the lasers. So he starts putting up these complex patterns of lasers that she's getting through and everything. And I'm like, it would be really cool if he brought up that grid pattern that killed the dudes.
The grid! The grid! You keep doing this laser room in all the fucking movies. You find a way to jam in a goddamn laser room. If they could be in the ocean and some in the laser room shows up.
It's like he's trying to kill her.
Fucking do it!
And the
iconic grid never comes up, ever. It's as if there never was.
I would have even excused it if he had used the grid and then power cut out halfway through to let her fucking live. That I would accept.
Incompetence. The writers, whoever wrote this film,
I could do better. Better.
Anybody could do better. You sitting there watching this film, if you wrote shit on a piece of paper about an action scene, I swear to you, it would be better than what's in this film. It's all nonsensical. I've never seen this before. That's why I wanted to possibly give this a 0 out of 10, but a 0 out of 10 should be something that is non-functional, that doesn't work. And this film is so close to being technically non-functional. Yes, it plays on the screen, but this is the lowest 1 out of 10 I could ever give. We're gonna go into deep spoilers here, but let's go to final verdicts because this I can't talk in general terms anymore, even though we've kind of gone into details. Joe, what would you give it out of 10?
I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 10.
Yes.
1 out of 10.
Beard.
I'm gonna give it a 0.
You're gonna give it a 0.
I never want to see this again.
Yeah.
I never want to see mention of it again.
Well, I got a point because it's the last chapter.
How could this be the worst film? This is the worst film in a shitty ass franchise. And the one thing that these things are good at, here we go. There's 2 things that the Resident Evil films have been good at. The music, remember the first one started with Marilyn Manson, the seizure of power music. That song is so fucking cool. And then even the shittier films towards the end, Afterlife and Retribution, had some cool music with the Axeman scene. That's fucking good music. This film has no good music in it. They've lost even the talent that they had on the musical side. It's gone. So it has the two good things was action. You just want to see a hot chick shoot stuff. And second, you wanted badass sounding music. This film has no music. And you can't watch her shoot stuff because they combine shaky cam with extreme amounts of jump cuts. We're talking 20 shots for something as simple as shooting an enemy. It goes past parody. It goes past incompetence. It is gross. It is talentless.
One frame for a switch.
It's less than a second. There are frames less than a second that you're supposed to establish where you are and where things are in relation to each other. I am so fucking pissed at this film. It's been a long time since I've been this passionate and angry after watching a film than this. I was so I was like, this, I don't know how this got made. I can't even talk right now. It's that bad. So, fucking the lowest 1 out of 10 I can give, and I would give it a 0 out of 10 if I didn't make my rating scale be where it's non-functional. It is borderline 0 out of 10. It is one of the worst films I've ever seen. It's worse than Ghostbusters. It's worse than all the shit that we've seen in January. And it sucks. There is a good January movie, and I'm going to recommend that. Oh, I'm going to recommend you go see Split rather than you see this. Split is a good movie, believe it or not. M. Night Shyamalan has made a comeback, and this one film.
Don't call it comeback.
It's just one film, but it is a good film compared to this. It is fucking a masterpiece compared to this. Oh my god. So we're gonna get into
At least January is almost over.
January is almost over, and hopefully we're gonna get some better fucking movies in February, and definitely March is when we'll start seeing some of the movies come back that are good.
I get to skip the next movie.
No, you don't get to skip. No, you're not getting a break. If I have to do this, you have to do this, Joe.
Fuck.
Call in sick.
I'll drive, pick you up, put your ass in the car, put you on an IV. Oh, it's that bad. So, the one thing that I can say for the film is that it ends it. It ends it.
That's why I gave it a 1.
I've never seen like Walking Dead where you think that shit, they're just going to go on forever. There's never going to be this solution where a virus cures everybody. At least Resident Evil here, yes, there's a virus and it destroys all the zombies. And the 4,000 people, which is probably even less now, it's probably 100 humans left. Okay, the story is resolved. It's over. That's what you can... Over. No, it's over.
I'm telling you.
Why do you
There's going to be another one.
I said it's over. Okay. It better be over.
Make him stop.
It's over.
All right, guys, for real now. That's it. I'm going. Goodbye.